Today I'm going to be talking about Iran refugees, and just to give a brief background about the Iran population, there's about 87 million people who live in Iran, and that accounts for about 1.08% of the world's population. Now, in America itself, there's about a half a million to a million Iranian Americans that live here, and in Los Angeles is actually where the highest concentration is. A lot of Iranians come over for educational purposes to gain like a college degree, and that's mainly part of their culture. They have a high value of education. And back in 2019, there's actually statistics that shows that Iranian Americans, about 59% of them, achieved a bachelor's degree or higher in America, which I thought was really interesting. Now, for the refugee part of Iranian refugees, immigration of Iranian refugees initially took place following the 1979 Islamic Revolution, and this was when Islamist revolutionaries were brought to power, and there were a series of events that accumulated in the overflow of Pahlavi dynasty, creating an Islamic republic. Now, it was a revolt of the society against the state, and this caused poor economic issues where there's a lack of political and social freedoms. And this was one of the push factors that Iranians experienced in leaving the country. They also had a government drafting for troops due to the high mortality rate, and that drove a lot of the draft aged Iranians to flee to other countries as well to just to avoid being drafted. And these were just two examples that were the cause of the main spike of immigrants of Iranian refugees in 1979. And basically, they were just looking for places where they had a better chance of living economically and physically. And at the time, the United States had a regulation and the immigration law that only allowed those Iranians that were already settled in America, mainly for like educational purposes that were already there, gaining college education, to be able to bring over their spouses and family. And without that, really the regulation that they we had, I'm sure there would have been way more Iranian Americans today because of that. But those were just some of the barriers that they had to deal with going to other countries, maybe to be rejected, and not being able allowed to come into the countries that they were trying to get to. But those were the main reasons why we have Iranian refugees was due to the Islamic